19, 20, and 21, talking about the domain of my square root function. On a square root function, the square root cannot be negative, right? We can't take the square root of a negative value unless we're working with imaginary numbers. So whatever is under the square root, in this case the negative 6x plus 24, has to be positive, or it could be equal to 0. So we're going to say that the negative 6x plus 24 has to be greater than or equal to 0. The part under the square root has to be greater than or equal to 0. So solving this, we would minus our 24. Negative 6x is greater than or equal to negative 24. We would divide by our negative 6. Since we divided by a negative, we reverse our inequality. X has to be less than or equal to 4. However, the problem tells me to write my answer using interval notation. This is inequality notation. If I think about that on my number line, I'm doing this, right? And so my interval is going to go from left to right, negative infinity to positive 4. I'm not on infinity, so I use a parenthesis. I am on the 4, so that end's going to have a bracket. And that's what my answer is going to look like in interval notation, which is what they specify. Number 20 then. Again, I'm going to say that the 5x plus 20, the part under the square root, is greater than or equal to 0. Can't have a negative under our square root. I'm going to minus my 20. So 5x is greater than or equal to negative 20. I'm going to divide by 5. This time I divided by a positive, so I leave my inequality. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. So on my number line, it looks like that. So my interval notation from left to right, negative 4 to positive infinity. I am on the negative 4, I'm not on the infinity, so it looks like that. The next one, same kind of thing. Negative 3x minus 24 has to be greater than or equal to 0. So I'm going to add my 24. Negative 3x is greater than or equal to 24. Dividing. X is, I divided by a negative 3, so less than or equal to negative 8. So again, on my number line, I'm going this way. I'm going from negative infinity to negative 8. Can't be on infinity, but I am equal to that negative 8. So that's going to be my solution. Now I just want to point out that you will have problems that look something like this. The square root of negative 3x and the plus 24 is out here. When I'm looking for the domain, I'm not worried about anything that's not under the square root, just the part that is under the square root. So I'm just using this, the negative 3x has to be greater than or equal to 0, and solving it from there. So when we look at the domain of our square root, it's only what's underneath the square root, not necessarily the entire problem that you have to solve.